I'm Stephanie. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope you guys enjoy my speech. No one ever wants to hear the words, "you have cancer." For me, that day came April 2nd, 2013, at the age of 14. I was diagnosed with AML leukemia, the worst kind of leukemia that for childhood cancer and pediatric cancer in general. I was treated at CHOP. I had 3 rounds of chemo. Then they decided that to ensure that I would stay in remission, that I would have to go through a stem cell transplant. So at that point in August, I went to the hospital August 7th on my dad's birthday and started my radiation for 3 days, and then my 2 other extremely strong chemos that could have killed me right off the bat. On August 16th, 2013, I received my stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor from Wisconsin, hence the Wisconsin sweatshirt I had on a few weeks ago. So those 6 months of the really hard chemo, the life-changing events, really made an impact on my life. Having cancer at a young age taught me how to deal with the hardships of life, taught me how to the true meaning of love, and gave me a purpose for my future. I had to learn how to be strong for myself and my family right off the bat. There were days, especially in the beginning, where I could tell that my parents were ready to break, especially my mom, where she was trying to be happy for me and trying to be strong for me, and you could see it in her eyes when she would go to a meeting with the doctor or be pulled out into the hallway about something. So I figured out ways to put a smile on my face and to be able to make them smile. I also had to learn how to deal with grief of losing someone my age and younger. During treatment, families tend to get close together as a support system. So being that my dad is a really big talker and my mom is a big talker, they went up meeting a lot of parents in the Ronald McDonald room, which is at the end of the hall on the 3rd floor. So we befriended a lot of families, and even after we became friends with families through different organizations. Thankfully, most of them are still healthy. However, we had lost 4 teenagers and 3 children under the age of 12. One of the hardest was last summer, or 2 summers ago. I lost a friend, Tommy. He was the same age as me. He was 18. He had the same diagnosis that I did, went through the transplant, and then wound up getting pneumonia. And that is what wound up killing him. And then the year before that, we had lost Antonio, who was also a teenager. Recently, we had lost Sammy, and Sabrina we knew her through church, but then wound up we were in the hospital at the same time together. And we lost her while I was in transplant. The 3 children we lost was a little baby. I think he was 2.5. His name was Shane. And then within the last year, we lost Nico and Brooke. Through these hardships, I was also able to find the love from my family and the love of my friends. Seeing the way my parents and the rest of my family came together after my diagnosis was incredible. My dad's side of the family at the time was starting to grow apart from each other. Uncles were fighting, aunts were fighting, cousins were fighting. So then when I got sick, everybody just kind of seemed to come together. And for a 1.5 years, everybody was happy and everybody found the joys in life. I mean, after a little while, it started to fade away, but I mean, family's family and nothing's ever going to be perfect. I also gained a second family. No one ever wants to go through this alone. And like I said before, when you're in treatment, you find people that you can relate with and that you can talk to. When you're forced into this world, you learn that very quickly. Families want to be able to be there for support, and we had quite a few families who would send us stuff, or we had a family who, when they were leaving, they had a bunch of food in the fridge that they didn't eat yet, and they offered it to us, so we had extra food in the fridge for us when we got hungry. One of my favorite lines that my dad says is, It's not it's a family that no one ever dreams of being a part of, but once you're in it, you can't imagine a life without them, which is extremely true on every level. My family and friends weren't the only ones who had supported me through this journey. I also had the love and support of my doctors and nurses. I became very close with most of my nurses at the time. I even was invited to one of their weddings, which was really cool. One of my favorite nurses of all time was Tina. She was always sweet and positive, but you knew when she needed to get her point across because she's about this big, and so she's like all giggly and the whole 9 yards, and then you would get this. And when you got that, you knew you had to listen. I actually had wounds on my leg, which is what found out that I was diagnosed because I had a fever from them. And they were afraid that I might need plastic surgery to fix everything. So my first week in there, she was one of the first nurses I ever had. My first week in there, plastic surgery comes in at like 6:30 in the morning, flips the lights on, the whole 9 yards, and they come back in. The way they had to bandage my leg because I hadn't gone into surgery yet, there was like tape in like all weird directions, and when they came back, she didn't know that they came in. And when they came back, when they put everything back, they put the tape across the open wound. So she comes running into the room and she goes, "Who are you and what are you doing to my patient?" So it was really cool. Like as soon as they left, she came in and like fixed everything and made everything so it wouldn't hurt when it came off. Another reason why she was one of my favorites was as a child, she went through almost the same exact thing I did. She had leukemia, she had the stem cell transplant, which for her was a lot harder because it was a new thing. So we were able to connect that way, and she could tell when I was feeling something, and she would just kind of give me like that sweet, that soft smile, and would make your day a whole lot better. She's the reason I want to become a pediatric oncology nurse. She showed me what it's like to give back and to be able to go back and help the kids that, maybe their parents might not understand what they're going through, or they just need somebody that can say, "I understand, and you're going to get through this, and we'll do it together." Cancer is usually known to destroy people and their families, but I think having cancer increased the value of mine. It gave me a way to deal with difficult times in my life, taught me about love, and gave me a direction for my future. Without having cancer, I don't think I would be here wanting to be a nurse, because blood always kind of freaked me out, but now it doesn't even faze me anymore.